Hello, hello, hello. We are live. I can hopefully see your chat. If you have any comments. And we're going to get into this estimated tax workshop for all 1099 contractors. And we're just going to go straight into it. It's going to be live. This is not pre-recorded. I will keep this on the main channel. I'll re-upload the replay so people can watch the replay. And at their own time. I know this is live. It's 1 p.m. currently, Pacific Standard Time. And a lot of people have things to do, so they can't show up. They can't be here right at this time. So this will be recorded and re-uploaded. And I just want to make sure that everything is going good. Let me see here. And that we're on it. And I think we are. Let's see here. Yeah, we're live. Yay! Okay, cool. This live stuff is tricky because I can't tell, I have to have somebody tell me that things are going good, or else I don't know. All right, so let's start this workshop, shall we? Okay, I'm going to keep the chat open just in case anybody needs to chat with me. That way I can chat back. All right. Estimated tax workshop for all 1099 contractors. Let's calculate your second quarter estimated tax payment. First, I just want to say congratulations, because you're taking the time, whether it's live or you're watching the replay, because you're here to learn. And you want to learn about your 1099 taxes and stay on top of it. You're here and you're going to get the clarity by knowing your numbers. So I want to congratulate you on that too. And also, I want to congratulate you because you're going to get the peace of mind knowing that you're doing things the right way. So you're investing in your future, your business, financial future. And the results that I want you to get from this by the end is optics on your numbers. You're going to know your numbers. And I like to say, if you know your numbers, you know your business. You're going to know how to calculate your 1099 taxes. You're going to know how to pay your 1099 taxes. You're going to get a game plan for the rest of the year. We are already June 2025. We've got half another year to go. And what a better time than now to kind of just take a moment, pause, what has happened the first half, where am I going to go the next half? What do I have to do now? And also, you're going to feel less stressed knowing that you knocked this off the to-do list. You knocked this one thing off the to-do list. You're going to feel that pressure. It feels good to just get it done, get it over with, move on. So that's what I'm hoping that you'll get from this workshop. Why should you care? Well, because these estimated tax payments have due dates. And this second quarter, and I say that because it's only taking 2 months into account. You have to just do from April to May 31st, and this second quarter payment is due June 16. And that's coming up. It's June 6 right now. That's in 10 days. So you should care because it's coming up. If you want to make a payment, you got to make a payment. How do you know how much to pay? How do you do it? That's what we're going to get into. And also, if you don't make these payments, there's penalties. If you don't, if you underpay your taxes at the end of the year, when you do your tax return, you get penalized for it. And that sucks. And you don't want that. Here's an example. This person, my friend, owed this much money. This was his estimated tax penalty. Now, compared to how much he owed, okay, this isn't that much compared to how much he owed, but still, it still sucks. Why would you want to pay an extra $466 when you don't have to? This is a lot of money to pay all at once also. If you pay your estimated taxes, you chunk this down. And you can pay it monthly, you can pay it quarterly, you prepay it, essentially is what it is. You're prepaying your taxes so that, yeah, you don't have to pay this huge bill all at once, and you avoid this penalty. Also, I want to let you know, let's say you do have to pay this penalty. Let's say your penalty was even bigger than this. Let's say it's like in the thousands. You get actually a penalty relief. If you owe less than $1,000 at the end of the year, and you've paid at least 90% of the tax for the current year, or 100% of the tax on your last year, whichever is smaller, which means if you pay your estimated taxes, you avoid the penalty. They won't penalize you. And I'll have all these links and references in the description at the end. So here's an example. When you do your tax return, your tax return will calculate and figure out how much estimated tax payments you should be making. And so this is an example of a 2025 estimated tax payment schedule. They just equal it out. Every 4 months or every kind of quarter, you pay the equal amount. And if you pay what the tax return is calculating for you to pay, you will not have to pay the penalty. And this works if you expect to make around the same amount of income. And the way you qualify for this penalty relief, or the way you can get it, is you just call the IRS. You call them up, you say, hey, I got a penalty. I've never requested for it to be removed. I would like a first-time penalty abatement. And if you've been good with your taxes, if you've paid your taxes, if you filed your taxes, and you're kind of have good history, tax compliant history, they'll do it. They'll take it away. Everyone gets this. Every person gets to be able to remove a penalty one time for no reason. Well, you have to have good tax compliance, but you don't have to give a reason for why. They'll take it off. So that's a good little thing, to know if you do ever want to get rid of this penalty. But they'll give it to you once, and you kind of have to wait a while before you ask for it again. So you want to make sure it's kind of on a good penalty if you have it. And if you don't have any penalties, that's even better, because then you don't have to deal with it, because trying to get through to the IRS to talk to them is a pain. So first of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Tanya Miramontes. I'm a CPA. And a little background is I would give my W-2 to my parents for them to take it to their tax people to do the taxes. I was afraid of them. They were confusing to me. I had no idea. And I just had one W-2 from my one job. Oh, crap. I didn't put the slide on. Let me put the slide on. Oh, no, it died. No, there it is. They were confusing to me. I didn't know. And then I got a job at a public accounting firm where I did tax returns, and I did tax returns for individuals and businesses and the owners of the businesses. So I started to know how to do them. And so I'm like, I can do this. This is easy. So I started doing it for myself. I started doing it for my friends and family. I did that for 6 years. 2 years, I did forensic accounting, which was very interesting. I did accounting for divorces. So I worked with the divorce attorneys to help split up the money and figure out child support and spousal support and how all that's going to work. That was super interesting. But all along the way, I was a side hustler. I had my side hustle doing tax returns for my friends and family on the side while I was working full time. And eventually in 2014, I said, I can do this. Let me quit the full-time job, and let me make my side hustle my main hustle. So I did that. And I built and sold my tax business for 4 years. I built it up. I sold it at its peak. And now I've been just doing consulting work. So I've been self-employed for 10 years, fully self-employed. I started out as a sole proprietor. Then I got my S Corp. So I know what it's like to have a side hustle. I know what it's like to get 1099s. I know what it's like to have to figure this out on your own and to help others figure it out. Because when you go from W-2 to 1099, it's a whole different story. It's a whole different ballgame. Taxes are totally different. You're basically a little tiny business. So I know what it's like. I've done hundreds over thousands of tax returns, so I can help guide you. And I'm going to take a pause. Oh, well, first let me do a disclaimer, because this advice that I'm giving in this workshop, it's going to be general. So it's not going to be like in-depth, specific to your issue. You're going to get the tactics, you're going to get to know how to do it, but everybody's different. And so I just want to let you guys know that it doesn't take into account your personal unique situations. Also, we're only going to be covering federal taxes, not state, because every state is different. And I'm in California, so I can tell you what the California state taxes are going to be, but then you might be in a different state and that's not going to apply to you. So the same kind of methodology, though, is going to work for your state if you live in a state where you have to pay state taxes. So that's a disclaimer. This is going to be the steps of the workshop. But first, I'm going to take a pause, and I'm going to go into the studio to see if we've got any comments. No comments. Let me see here. I'm going to open up the studio. And make sure that, okay, all right, things are going good. It's just a little delayed, but that's okay. It's just a little delayed, and that's fine. We're going to keep going. So hopefully if I see your comment, I'll respond. It's just going to be a tiny bit delayed, but that's okay. All right. Step 1, gather your income and expenses. Step 2, calculate your estimated taxes. Step 3, pay your estimated taxes. So we're going to go through all these steps. But step by step, I'm going to show you my screen. We're going to go through this. So step 1, gathering your numbers. This is what I meant by we're going to take a look at your numbers, okay? And I have some bad news and good news. So bear with me. Let me tell you the good news first. The good news is, hey, I got a free download for you. And I'll link it all in the description, but you can go to my Stan store here, my link in the bio, and get a free download that will help you with this. It'll help you and guide you on gathering your income and expenses, because this is the only way to know how much you're going to have to pay in taxes. That's just what it is. So I got the free download of 2024, and I have the option for you guys to get the 2025 update, but this can at least help you and guide you. Also, here's the bad news. The bad news is, I got some homework for you. You do have some homework from this workshop. We're not going to be able to get everything done in this maybe 1 hour of doing this. So I got some homework for you. Here's your homework. All right. You're going to gather your income and expenses, however you want to do it. And because we're in June already, and you just have to pay your taxes from your income and expenses that you made from April 1st to May 31st. Oh, let me move this out of the way, actually. Let me move this out of the way. Okay. You only have to pay, you only have to calculate your income and expenses from these 2 months. I don't know why it's like that. It is like that. That's just how it is. Let me just show you real quick. I'll go back to the schedule. So we've got January to March. Here, it's 3 months, and that's due April 15. Now we're in this section where it's just April and May. It's just these 2 months that you have to pay taxes on. Then we go from June to August, June, July, August, 3 months. And then at the end of the year, you got to do September, October, November, December, 4 months worth. I don't know why it's like that. It's like that for whatever reason. That's how the schedule is. Maybe they want to give you a break in the middle of the year for summer. So all you have to do is gather those 2 months. And you should know what you did from January to March. And the rest of the year you have to estimate. So let's do this. Let me go over here. So first, run a report for your income. Run a report from your merchant accounts, your Stripe, your Square, your PayPal. You can go in, run a report for just that date range, and get your income numbers. Gather the rest of your income that you received from other places like Venmo and Zelle, or check deposits. This is where you're kind of gonna go into your bank accounts. If you're not doing bookkeeping, if you don't have bookkeeping software, you're gonna have to go into your bank transactions. Like I said, so go through your bank and credit card transactions. Also to pull out all your expenses, your business expenses. Again, if you don't have an accounting or bookkeeping software, you're gonna have to manually do this. Take into consideration your auto and home office deduction, because those are going to be different types of calculations that you can't just pull from your credit card statement. And like I said, you can get my free download. It'll help guide you with all that stuff. So you're going to do that. And this is going to calculate your net profit so that we can calculate what your estimated taxes are going to be. Your net profit is all your income minus all your expenses. This is what's left over. That's what you pay your taxes on, and that is what's going to take us into. Something happened. Let me see here. It's what's going to take us into step 2. Okay, let's see. The good news is I've got some references. I've got some resources for you. You can go to this video. I like him. I follow him, Mark Kohler. He's a CPA and a tax attorney. And he's got this great little video on bookkeeping. I'll link it in the description. Also, this website, ilovecreatives.com, they have a little guide, a little, freelancer, small business 1099 guide that also has great information. This is kind of where I started my side hustle career, because I was featured on their website for being a tax person. And so they're great. They have great resources. So action challenge. Answer these questions. How do you keep track of your income and expenses now? Is it working for you? If it's not working, what do you think could make it better? What would you want to do to make it better? It's a necessary evil, unfortunately. You do have to do your bookkeeping. You have to gather your income and expenses. That's the only way we're going to be able to do step 2 to calculate how much you owe. At least you need your income. You at least need your income. That is for sure. So before we dive into the actual calculations, I just want to review what your estimated taxes include. They include your self-employment taxes, and ordinary income taxes. So what are these? Let's discuss. Your self-employment taxes are your Social Security and Medicare. And you're going to have to pay both employer and employee portions of this. Why? Because as a 1099 contractor, as a self-employed person, you are basically your own boss. You are the employee and you are the employer. So you're stuck having to pay both of these. And you pay this on your net profit after all your expenses. This is basically the total comes out to 15.3% that you have to pay on your net profit. And on your net profit, you also have to pay your ordinary income taxes, which is the tax tables, the tax brackets. Wherever you fall in to those, it could be 10%, 12%, 22%. For example, the first 11,000 will be taxed at 10. Then the amount from 11,000 to 48,000 will be taxed at 12. Then the amount from 48 to 100,000 will be taxed at 22. If you're single, it's different for each of these buckets. Whether you're single, married, head of household, married, filing separate, the brackets are a little different. So you have to pay these also on top of your self-employment taxes. And that's how it is when you get 1099'd. That's just how it is. These taxes are not getting taken out. That's the difference between when you're a W-2 employee. When you're a W-2 employee, these taxes are already automatically getting taken out. They're taking out your employee portion of your Social Security. They're taking out the Medicare. They're taking out your ordinary income taxes. They're taking this out. So they're taking all these taxes out. The good news is, as an employee, you don't have to pay this, but you do have to pay around 8% because that's what this is right here. So that's the difference. Here, they don't even, I don't know why they have this even here as an option. I'm sure there's a reason, but I've never in my 20 years have ever seen this filled out with any taxes withheld at all. Maybe it's got to do with international. I don't know, but I have no idea. So step 2, let's get into it. I've got a basic shortcut for you. I've got an easy shortcut and I've got a standard shortcut. So I got some shortcuts for you. The basic. From step 1, when we went in there and pulled your income numbers, you're going to take your income and you're just going to times it by 25%. And that's your tax payment. Boom. You don't even have to do anything else. You don't even have to gather your expenses. This is the super basic shortcut. Super. This is if you just want to make a payment, don't even spend a lot of time, and you're probably going to pay too much. You're going to overpay. But hey, do you want to save the time and pay too much, or do you want to take the time and pay less? Because you're definitely overpaying. But guess what? If you do overpay, you just get it back as a refund when you file your taxes later on. It can come back to you as a refund, or spoiler alert, bad news again. You can apply it to next year's estimated taxes. Because guess what? It's a never-ending cycle when you're 1099. You have to pay it again next year. You have to make your estimates again in 2026. So if you overpay too much in 2025, this year, yeah, sure, get it back as a refund, but you're just going to have to pay it again as estimates in 2026. So you have the option. But this is the basic shortcut. Okay? Let's go to the easy shortcut. Number 2, use ChatGPT. And I've got this chatbot, the self-employment tax bot for you. I'm using my husband's account, Dylan. He's got the Pro or the Plus subscription. So I just used his account to create this. I created it. I uploaded the 2025, the most recent tax IRS instructions to help you with this. And it works. And I'll also put this in the description. So here's the example. How much taxes will I owe on $80,000 of income? It's going to go through and calculate your self-employment taxes. It's going to go through and calculate your ordinary income taxes. It's going to do this little qualified business income deduction that we're getting right now. It's a little calculation for you having a business, and it's going to calculate your taxes. So here it's going to say your self-employment taxes are $11,000 for the entire year. By the way, this is for the entire year. So this is going to give you the entire year. And this is what your regular ordinary income taxes are. This is what you would have to pay again for 2025. So you do have to take the extra step and estimate what you think you'll make for the rest of the year. Because then you take this, and you divide it by 4. So it said, hey, want me to set up your quarterly payment schedule? Yeah, calculate my quarterly payments. Here you go. Boom, divided by 4. This is what you should pay by June 16 if you're making $80,000. And this is after taxes, by the way. This is after taxes. So that's an option. Just use ChatGPT. You can use, I'm pretty sure you could probably even use the free one. This is my tax bot. I uploaded the IRS instructions, so you could use it. It's free. Again, I'll link the link in the description. Okay, standard shortcut number 3. Just use an income tax calculator online. I like this one from Tax Act. So here's the example. I also put $80,000 of income, of self-employment income. And I like this one because this one gives you the option for 2025. So let's go back. See, you can do 2025. And I just put single. I didn't have any dependents. I made $80,000 of net business income. I didn't have any of this stuff. You can get into the details. You can actually dial it down and really, figure out how much you can pay so that you don't overpay if you don't want to overpay. All this other stuff, college education expenses, childcare expenses, any other credits. But I just said no to all that just to give the example. So here, 80,000. This Tax Act calculator gave me my self-employment taxes at $11,304. Here's my self-employment tax. And look at the ChatGPT tax bot. It's pretty close. It was off by like, what is it? $5? It's off, or $4. It's pretty close. The other your ordinary income tax, this is saying it's $5,459, and this is saying it's $5,000. So it's off a little bit. So here it's saying $16,273, and this is saying $16,763. It's an estimate. That's why it's called an estimate. So at least you can get a good estimate of what you will be paying for the entire year. Then divide this by 4, and you've got your payment. You've got your payment for what you need to pay. That's the third option that you could do. Pretty simple. Just use a tax calculator. And like I said, step 1, you got to know your numbers first. Also, please note that there's another method called the annualized income installment method if your income varies significantly each quarter. And this is for seasonal businesses. So if you make all your money January to June, but you're not going to make it's going to be like totally different the rest of the year. You can do this method and you don't have to make equal payments. You just do your little calculations for those months, pay what you need to pay for those months, and don't even worry about the rest of it because, it's different. It'll be different for you. So that's another method. We can get into that, I guess, in another lesson if you want to. Also, gathering your income and expenses is a whole lesson in itself, too. All right, we're on step 3. Let's pay your estimated taxes. We're doing good. It's only been 30 minutes. This is great. It's demo time. Let's go. Let's go. We're going to go into the IRS website. Here's where you go. You go to irs.gov. You go to pay. You're going to pay. I've always paid with a bank account. I mean, I haven't tried this digital wallet and I haven't used my credit card because they charge you a fee. And so like, okay, cool, I'll get points, but then I'm getting charged a fee. So it's almost like it doesn't even like balances out. I don't know. Anyways, you're going to direct pay with bank account here. And you're going to pay individual tax. I know this is confusing because you're paying your business tax, but business tax payments are for corporations. They're not for sole proprietors. They're not for single member LLCs. They're not for S Corps. They're only for corporations because a corporation, it's a whole separate entity. The different type, it's a separate, a C Corp. A C Corp is a totally different entity. So they have to pay their own taxes. They have their own tax rates. But for everybody else, the sole proprietor, everybody, the single member LLC, S Corp, you pay here. So you're going to pay individual taxes. And here you go. You can pay your personal taxes, make a payment. Now here, what you're going to select is, you have all these options. You're going to go estimated taxes. And you're going to apply the payment to the 1040 ES. There's no other option. That's the option. ES stands for estimate. And it's going to be, make sure you select, well, it only gives you the option for 2025. So here we go. That's all you have to do here in this step. Estimated tax, 1040 ES, 2025. Continue. Yes, I have selected that. Let's continue. And with the IRS, they're going to want to verify your identity. So I'm going to move this to the side and I'm going to verify my identity first. Well, first, let me just show you. You're going to need to select a year that you filed a tax return to verify your identity. So I filed an extension for 2024. I haven't filed yet. I'm going to choose 2023 because that one's filed. Then you're going to put your filing status. Did you file a single, married filing joint, head of household? I know I did that. You're going to put your name. You're going to put your last name. And it wants you to confirm. And it wants you to put your social security number, your date of birth, your address. And continue. So I'm going to do that on the side here so that I don't show you guys my info, my identity information. So you put your name, you're going to put your social security number, you're going to put your date of birth, because the IRS has all this information in their system, and it should be matching to what you've reported on your tax return. That's why you want to choose a tax return that you know the information for. And we're going to go accept, and we're going to press continue. Awesome. Cool. So here I am. I'm signed in as me. Now, whatever payment I make, it's going to get applied to my account, my social security number. So you're going to put your payment amount. Let's say you're going to just do the shortcut and you're going to pay $5,000. You're going to make sure you select your payment date. Obviously, you could do today's date. You're going to put your bank information in here. Choose if it's a checking or savings. You're going to put your email address in here. Yes, select this. Yes, you want to get an email confirmation. And then you continue. And that's it. That's the process. That's all you have to do. The next step is going to be the confirmation page. And I got a picture for you here. This is the confirmation page, step 5. You're going to get a confirmation number, the amount you paid, when you submitted it. This is an example. It's going to say, it was for whatever year the payment was for. So keep track of these. Keep track of all your estimated tax payments and don't forget to include them on your tax return when you file your taxes next year so that you get the credit for it, so that you get those payments applied and they count, So you have to just keep a record of this. And that's it. We did it. That's your estimated tax workshop. Step 1, gather your income and expenses. I could do a whole workshop just on this because this is what takes, I think, the longest time. Step 2, calculate your estimated taxes. That was easy. I gave you some options for that. 3 options. Third, pay your estimated taxes. This takes 5 minutes online. Boom, you pay. You get your little confirmation and you're done. And you can check this off the to-do list. You can say, yes, I did it. I'm on track. I'm staying on top of it. I'm staying on top of my taxes. And you can do it if you believe. False. You can do it if you do it. That's it. Just do it, Get it over with. Get it done. And you'll thank yourself later because you won't be stressing out in January and February and March. You'll be on top of it month by month. So there you go. That was the workshop. And I hope that my live streaming all worked. If it didn't, no problem. I'm packaging this up and it'll be ready for you as a replay for you to come back to and rewatch whenever you can. All right. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. I'll have all these descriptions, all the links to my references below in the description, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.